Won't acknowledge me unless I acknowledge her first, plus only 15 more days living with her. Wanted to start off with the good. My mother-in-law moves into her new apartment in 15 days, so in 15 days I will be free of her. Yesterday, I came downstairs from my bedroom to talk to my husband after I finished therapy. I'm in the middle of speaking to him, so I don't really care to stop my train of thought to acknowledge my mill as she comes down the stairs. She expects and wants everyone to know when she's entered a room, so she usually comes out of her room anytime my husband and I are in the living room, which is why we stay in the bedroom lol. So as I'm finishing my story, she decides to go upstairs. My husband and I went to get some Starbucks shortly after. This behavior of hers is sorta new because I've been actively avoiding her for the last 7 months. I also have now decided to let her greet me from time to time, especially if she's the one entering a room. I always say hi the moment I open the door and see someone, so she should do the same. As the days grow closer to us leaving the state, she's becoming colder, which I really don't care about. It's just showing her true colors. I was like, did you see that? Unless I greet her first, she will not greet me. And he's like, yeah, I saw. Just a couple more weeks and you won't have to deal with that. He did ask me to try to be as polite as I can be until we leave, so we can all get through this move smoothly, without compromising my boundaries OFC. I agreed. Right now I'm too excited to start any drama. That's another thing. When she finally signed for her apartment a month ago, she asked me to help her organize her room, and when she asks me for things I don't want to do, I just tell my husband to take care of it. So he told his mom that he and his brother will help her to do her packing because I have to pack our things. So that's been really nice. I do help with shared spaces like the kitchen. But I refuse to help her with her room. She's a grown woman. If I can pack up my own stuff, she should be able to. She's definitely salty I'm not helping her. BC her sons aren't as meticulous and careful as I am. I used to help her organize a lot, and when I was a teen she would pay me a lot to organize things from time to time. I'm also known for being a master packer for trips and just packing in general. BC I moved so many times in my life. I expected a lot worse behavior from her, but I just don't think she has the energy. I expected the worst from the horror stories I've read here, so I'm beyond grateful she hasn't been that bad. She's still trying to guilt trip my husband, but he shuts it down fast. Either he pretends to not hear her or he just tells her she will be fine on her own. One day, my husband said she just unprompted started to say I can't live by myself over and over again, really strangely. Him and his brother apparently just stared at her with confusion. After not getting the reaction she wanted, she said I'm just kidding. And was laughing super hard. I'm rambling, but yet I'm close to the end. I plan on going no contact with her, and my husband will have to explain why, and that if she does want to speak with me that my husband has to be present. I'm hoping the time apart will give her time to reflect on her actions and push her to go to therapy for the sake of her sons. Comment. Sounds like things will go back to normal soon in your household. I wasn't sure if you were also moving, but if not, if his mother has keys to your place you can either collect them from her or just change the locks after she moves out. If you are moving to a new place, strongly suggest you not provide her with a key. In either case you don't want to come home and find her sitting in your living room with her bags proclaiming she's moving back in. I'm sorry, but saying over and over that she can't live by herself sounds really bonkers. Maybe she needs to see a professional? Nah, it's a manipulation tactic. One, or both, of her sons was supposed to tell her that she should live with one of them. That's why she started laughing like she did and put out that just kidding, when neither of them said anything. Next story 2. He cheated, then I did. Please read. Do I tell him? Advice. Around mid-August a girl reached out to me, 19F, through DMS and told me my boyfriend, 20, was on Bumble and was flirting with her. August 26th, as soon as she found out we were dating and told him she was going to tell me, he immediately blocked her and deleted messages. I confronted him. He seemed in shock. I found out. We had a long conversation that night and the next day, and I decided to stay with him. Honestly, I wasn't that upset because I do OnlyFans. He makes content with me. A part of my job is to flirt. I try to do it as little as possible, so I just wanted to know what led to it. We agreed to phone checks. Anyways, Sept 1st I saw he tried hiding his texts with a girl he used to talk to, never was serious. He had told her he wanted to come to her apartment complex. He showed up, but she gave him the wrong door number on purpose. For many reasons it was obvious she was doing it for kicks and fun. He's done both while at work, and I have his location, but I wouldn't have known because it requires working on different houses. I confronted him again, didn't think I'd find out. I was so hurt, bawling my eyes out, as was he, crying too, not crocodile tears, once we finally had a talk. It was the first time we really communicated. He told me he had been feeling numb and basically was trying to fill the void and feel some kind of connection. Me and him both have bipolar, so I understand those feelings, but no way is justified. Then, my ex added me on Facebook and reached out last week, Sept 6th, we caught up, he asked to hang out and for my snap. I added him. My boyfriend saw the texts but was oblivious because I deleted anything that would expose me. We hung out that night. I snuck out while he was sleeping, cuddled. I felt wanted. He knew I had a boyfriend when he added me and said he would respect that. But I had already crossed a line. I thought it was because I had feelings for him, but it was just me seeking attention because I felt my BF wasn't. The next night, I saw him again and we only made out. I would have done it again, but the whole time all I could think of was my boyfriend. I was so confused why I would ever do that. Maybe a part of me wanted revenge too. My boyfriend called me that night, seeing where I was. I lied and said with friends and didn't answer his calls. When I returned home, we got into an argument because he was afraid I was cheating. But I gaslit him. We had a talk that morning and I felt a lot was resolved, and he realized just how a little attention he was giving me. I had found out he was searching for dating websites while I was with my ex, but that was restricted so he couldn't go through with it. I haven't told him. Once I realized it wasn't because I had feelings for my ex, I felt a little better. I asked my boyfriend 2 days ago if he was uncomfortable with me texting him, which I should have done first thing. I told my ex we can't see each other or talk. I had already told him I wasn't seeing him again the second night. The guilt is eating me alive. I can't stand lying to his face and pretending. I tear up even just looking at him sometimes. I don't know what to do. Should I tell him now? Or months later? What if I told him we just made out and his instincts were right? I know that sounds so shitty, but I'm not sure how'd he react, and we can't break up, we just can't. It sounds toxic, but I swear it isn't. Me and him are very impulsive. I was manic this whole week, didn't sleep for 3 days. I know this doesn't justify or excuse either. Please, I need help. I hardly ever lie, but definitely not to him except this. Some people say not to tell because we should feel that guilt and won't help. What I did was worse. I hate myself. Comment. This is real messy. It will probably ruin your relationship if you tell him. But think about how you would want him to act if the roles were reversed. Do yourself a favor and tell him. Give him the option to leave before he is too invested and feels played. Personal experience, but I'm married. My husband cheated prior to us getting married. I just found out not long ago. I hate that now I feel helpless. If he would have told me before getting married, I could have made a decision to stay or leave much easier. But now it makes everything that much more difficult because we have built so much. I'm glad to have come across your take on it though. Give some perspective from the other side. What makes you want to wait? From my view, the hardest thing to deal with was that every single day afterwards he looked me in my face and lied. I can only imagine that's how your guy would feel. Yes, there's a less likelihood of him leaving, but he'll probably feel like yes, it's in the past for you, but he'll just be beginning to process it like it just happened. Every memory that you guys have had since will be painful because it'll feel less genuine. Don't wait. It's absolutely worse later. Nothing like celebrating your 25th wedding anniversary and finding out your spouse cheated 28 years ago. It's cruel, selfish, and just wrong. It's gonna suck. But, keeping a secret will put too much on you and worse for you. So. Next story 3. I cheated 4 years ago, boyfriend might have post-infidelity stress disorder. I'm a 23-year-old woman, being in a relationship with my boyfriend of 24 for almost 7 years. 4 years ago when I was 19, I cheated on him 3 times with a 11-year older man who had been showing he liked me for a year. He found out, broke up with me, and a month later we got back together. I went to therapy and got diagnosed with BPD and ADHD. It also became clear I had a suicidal ideation psychosis some time before I cheated. I learned a lot from therapy and we are very happy together. I love him so much and really want to spend the rest of my life with him. However, I still find it hard to receive criticism and can easily feel very attacked and get defensive when he expresses his emotions. This leaves me taking up all emotional space between us and him feeling unheard. Always after the fight I can rationalize and understand what he is feeling, but this is often too late. We are both biologists, and for my MSc thesis I will be going to the Maldives to do fieldwork for a month. My supervisor, who is a 32-year-old who is very muscular. Even though my boyfriend knows I love him very much and want to be with him forever, he has frequent nightmares about me leaving him for my supervisor or just leaving him in general. He has panic attacks and feels very anxious. It doesn't help that I find it very hard to talk about it because I get so emotional so quickly. I always feel tensed around other men worrying about what my boyfriend would feel. I feel like after 4 years the trauma is way more invasive than what would be healthy. I read about post-infidelity stress disorder and think he might have it. I am going to start therapy again soon to work on my emotion control, but maybe therapy would be beneficial for my boyfriend too. Comment. Your boyfriend definitely needs therapy, but this isn't just going to go away. If you plan on staying together, you're going to have to get used to constantly being suspected of cheating. You're going to have to endure every suspicious glance, every question, every demand to look through your phone, every phone call asking you where you are, and every question he has about your affair, and you're going to have to just take every ounce of it for an indefinite amount of time. If you really love him like you say you do, that is the consequences you're going to have to just live with because of what you did to him. Maybe in 20 or so years you can finally gain his trust fully again, but it's going to take a long, long time. Be prepared. I agree that she will probably go on this trip, so I suspect we are reading a live journal of the last few days of this relationship. It's a pity that she cheated first and foremost, but also that she never thought to provide effective emotional support to him prior to accepting this trip. I think she doesn't understand how poorly she's handled this entire situation and would rather risk losing him than losing a trip to look at fishies and write stuff down for science. Which, you know, in the abstract would make sense. Plenty of people break up over educational or professional obligations. It just sucks in this case because it feels like she broke him, got him to take her back, rug swept the affair, and is about to make him relieve the trauma by putting him in a damn near parallel situation as when she last cheated. I just want to find the guy and give him a drink, or a coffee, or a reassuring hug or something, provided he wouldn't mind a hug from a 6 feet 1 inch, 265-pound man. He doesn't deserve to be treated like this.